We are back with another video, YouTube. Man, I love this case. Dead in a locked room. We received a call from the owner of the workshop. We got there in less than 10 minutes. When we arrived, we found the defendant in a side room with a dead victim. Upon examining the room, we concluded that nobody from the outside could have killed him, since he had been shot in the back with an old pistol. Yes. Oh shit. Yep, I really do. The owner? That's a witness, right? Right. She didn't see the actual murder take place, but those two were the only ones in the side room. No one else entered or left. When did you receive the call? Our record should have it recorded, but I believe it was 9:18 a.m. The murder itself took place at about 9:14 a.m. The defendant confirms this. Can someone tell me why the prosecution always believes the defendant? Only when they incriminate themselves? How did the defendant even get there? According to the owner, the defendant had been loitering outside for a while when the victim arrived. Supposedly, the two met up outside and the victim invited him in and into the side room. Oh yeah, what is this side room? The workshop where the victim worked is divided in two parts. The main room, where they worked fixing various machines and other odd jobs, and the side room, which is more or less a little office with a lock. It's kind of like a bathroom lock. There's no key, and it can only be locked from the inside. Then the victim was locked in that room with my client. Yes, fingerprints confirm both the victim and the defendant touched it. Ah, fuck. That makes it harder. Surprisingly, that's all we found. One would think the owner would leave some fingerprints on the door to her own office. Here's a report on it. Well. Oh, must have been cleaned recently. Ah. Great, he was locked in with the victim and had a witness right out the door. Even if Russell were the culprit, which he isn't, it'd still make no sense to kill traps in and there. How the heck did he get himself into this mess? That nobody from the outside could have killed him, which means that the culprit
that there should have been 3 people in there, not 2. And this means there was no way of seeing, much less accessing, the interior of the room. I did look for an optical fiber scope and similar devices, but after a thorough search of the workshop, I'm pretty positive there was no snooping on what occurred inside the side room. That door is the only way in, and it was locked from the inside. There's no way anyone could have gotten in or out of that room from the moment the victim entered. Both the witness and the defendant confirmed this. That's something to note, I guess. Only the defendant and the victim should know what happened inside that room. Since he had been shot in the back with an old pistol. Hold on. First of all, is there a motive? No. What? Neither the prosecution nor the police could produce a motive. Why did he end up arrested? It happens when you lock yourself in with a dead guy. Either Travis killed himself or Russell killed him. You can prove he didn't kill himself. All you have to do is prove Russell didn't kill him. It sounds so easy when you put it like that. I suppose that, given the circumstances, I will be forced to pass judgment, even without a motive. Now, should I ask about him being shot in the back, or the old pistol? Or the old pistol? There's really no reason to ask about him being shot in the back. An old pistol? This pistol is actually a bit curious. It's an old model that used to be assigned to detectives. This one has some modifications, like a silencer. Why would he have a gun belonging to the police department? I think I know who the killer is. Aren't you persecuting my client right now? That's a tad fickle of you, isn't it? So I did some investigation and stuff. Turns out Travis's father is an ex-cop. He used to be a detective in the precinct. That gun must be his, therefore, he's the killer. Nah. You fool! His father was working at the time of the murder. Can I continue my testimony? Oh, go right ahead then. You realize you just tried to accuse the wrong guy. You're supposed to accuse the defendant. Oh, yeah, defendant. I think I know the guy. But I was just thinking that it'd be brilliant if we caught the killer right at the start of the trial. Alas, things never quite go the way I'd like them to. No, the underlying assumption that you don't quite think the defendant is guilty is still there. That's the problem here. I did actually see him commit any crimes, so I'll get back to you on that one. Aren't you glad that's your opponent in court today? I don't know how to deal with this. All the other prosecutors I face are at least slightly competent. Well, if it were any other case, you'd probably have won already. After the prosecution tore apart their own case. What? Dude. Is that really supposed to happen? Is that really supposed to happen? What? I think that's a bug. Okay. Back. He was shot in the back? Aren't those two the only ones in the room? What about it? Well, when you brought someone into a room and locked the door, you probably mean to talk to the other person, right? How would you get shot in the back? I see your point, but the victim must have turned his back to the defendant. According to the layout of the room, they were both sitting, facing each other. The victim died next to his chair, which was probably shot as he got up and turned to leave. Is this last statement important? Very. The defense requests that the suspect's hearing be added into their testimony. Isn't that totally useless, though? I don't see why not. Witness, please add it to your testimony. Got it. Okay. Where exactly was it found? Strangely enough, the gun was inside the victim's toolbox. Like the gun, the defendant left no fingerprints on it. We initially thought he used some work gloves. Since the defendant was in the locked room the entire time, he had no way to dispose them. Therefore, we concluded that there were no gloves at the scene. He must have used something else. Like what? Usually a lack of fingerprints makes it harder to prove innocence. But in a situation like this, it could prove to be the prosecution's downfall. This conviction is largely based on the fact that no one else could have done it. Regardless of how impossible it seems, fingering anyone else, this crime is even impossibler. Impossibler. What? I'm inclined to side with the prosecution. The witness at this time. Even if the prosecution is unable to prove the defendant's guilt, the victim was still shot right in that room, where only 2 people were at the time. I'm afraid that unless the defense is able to prove the possibility of another suspect, I will be forced to declare the defendant guilty. I've been stuck on something someone said a while back. What are fingerprints? Huh? I've been looking carefully at my hands for a while now, but I don't really understand. I know I have some fingers, but they don't really leave any prints. I soaked up my hand in ink earlier, but it's just like a brush. I really don't get it. Your Honor, I wish to have this entire rant stricken from the record. Seconded. Thirded! Agreed. The prosecution's recent statements have been stricken from the record. Disregarding this entire digression, here's the toolbox in question. Oh my, this is quite the heavy box. Set into evidence. The prosecution does not have a theory as to how the defendant could have fired the gun without leaving any prints. Why is the detective talking as if she knew what I'm thinking? I can prove it's possible for the defendant to not have left any prints. You can. You can. You can. Something doesn't feel quite right around your joints, guys. So funny. Anyways, fingerprints are supposed to be left whenever you touch something, right? It means all you need to do is not touch anything. Idiot! If you use something to cover your hand, you can avoid leaving prints. In this case, the defendant had one such thing. His spectacles cloth. Okay. This method doesn't contradict the prints on the doorknob either. So what? Let me see that cloth. It's totally possible. How did I miss that? Hold on, where did this cloth even come from? Why hadn't we heard of it until now? Well, if you wear spectacles, it's only natural to have a cloth by them, right? I thought you used a toothbrush. Because you know how silly that sounds, Follow. But still, why didn't you present the cloth earlier? I thought it was really pretty and big when I saw it. I'm a big fan of white, you know? So I just borrowed it from the defendant earlier for the investigation, of course. Now that you were mentioning prints, I thought it might have something to do with that. Excuse me while I add that cloth into evidence then. God damn it. Damn it. God damn it. Well then, Scheiße. Did he make that whole deduction by himself? Calling me surprised. To think he was playing with ink just a few minutes ago. How they grow quickly. Anyways, you head her off, continuing the cross-examination, then to stickle over this. What? That's enough. What? I believe the details of this crime have been made exceedingly clear. The victim arrived in the morning and met the defendant at his workplace. They both headed into the side room, which they locked from the inside. After a short while, the victim was shot, and the defendant was let into the room, and the owner was let into the room and contacted the police. What? Was let into the room? Why? The murder weapon was inside the room and could have been used by the defendant. Nobody from the outside could have interfered with what occurred in that room. I'm more than prepared to deliver the verdict. Not so fast. But wait, I still have another witness. The owner who was standing outside the room. Prosecutor Stuffy, I see no need for further testimony, unless the defense can prove there's some remaining doubt. Mr. Wright, you're in a pickle now. We need to show the judge that we need some clarification. Is this something that doesn't make sense thus far? Yes. The toolbox. Why? There's always something. The defense believes there are still some doubts on the case. Very well, please present evidence that shows where such doubts are. The toolbox? Now belong to the victim and has his fingerprints on me. There we are! I think the autopsy report has a number of unclear things. First, all these bruises the victim had. They weren't addressed at all. Second, there's no mention of gunpowder or burns anywhere. They're both in a small room. Oh, two very good points. Prosecution's rebuttal? Ugh. This rebuttal I never saw. Oh my god. I love this case. Pretty sure he just tried his brain, so I'll take over. While the bruises are suspicious, they are old and we deemed them unconnected. This is because, upon a background check, this was the defendant's and the victim's first face-to-face meeting. For the gunpowder burns, all that means is that there was some distance between the two. The distance they sat at from one end of the table to the other was enough not to leave burns. I see, so there's... You idiot. Let's begin. What? What? Okay. Yes. What was this toolbox? This toolbox. How was the gun inside? I understand how it was... How was it? Yeah, how was the gun inside the toolbox? I understand how it was possible not to leave any fingerprints, but why was the gun inside the box? Where did the defendant even acquire the gun? There are a multitude of ways in which that toolbox can be explained. The defendant might have tried to point suspicion away from himself by placing the gun inside. We have no idea where the defendant acquired the gun. For all we know, the victim could have been the one to bring the gun into the room. Don't steal my lines. Ahem. The one with the hole in his back is the victim. Somebody's pulled the trigger and I don't think it was Mr. Alcott. Since it's difficult for a person to try and shoot themselves in the back, believe me, I tried. I picked up the gun and tried stretching my hands as far as I could. I couldn't reach my back, much less point the gun at it. I don't think you really counted as a test subject, what with arms as tiny as those. Even if he'd pointed a gun at himself in the back, he would have at least organ his wrist upon fire. So that's out the window. That would have been really useful to have in that room right about now. Oh, let's keep going. Really? Really? I think there's something suspicious about the door. Somebody was murdered inside, yet the witness outside didn't even touch the door. I always think that after hearing the gunshots, the witness would have immediately gone to see what was going on. That's a good point, prosecution. I probably would have gone with that immediately, but I wanted to see all the other things. Well, the gun has a silencer. Oh. I guess this explains why the witness didn't hear the shot or rush the door. Bitch, please. Huh? Did I say something weird? What is weird about this? It's a silencer. Oh, wait. Hold on. But this pistol. It's clear that this is a science pistol, however, something the prosecution mentioned earlier on doesn't make sense. Recall what the prosecutor said in his opening statement. It was shut, yes. A witness can confirm she heard a gunshot inside the room. By the way, as far as I know, silencers don't make a pistol silent. Just dims the sound. If the room was soundproofed, then the defendant wouldn't actually hear it. Then the witness wouldn't actually have heard it. Although I'm pretty sure they still would have, even if the room was soundproofed. Because I doubt that much sound would not be blocked. Because I doubt that much sound would be blocked. There we go. The defense's question is as follows. How could the witness claim to have heard the shot if the gun was silenced? Silencers don't silence a gun all the way. That's how. Oh dear me. That's exactly right. The witness claims that she heard a shot. Since it matches the facts, we didn't give it much thought. That should be impossible. That one fact does not makes it possible. The one fact that I stated. Indeed, this warrants further scrutiny. The prosecution may call their next witness. Because yeah, I doubt that I'm pretty sure that a silenced pistol would still shoot a gun at faster than the speed of sound. Therefore, still boom. Therefore, still would have made sound. But hey, that's just reality. The prosecution may call their next witness. Right away, Your Honor. Right on it. Doing it now. Consider it done. I thought this would be all over for a second there. I don't like when the judge rushes ahead like this. All that matters is that we managed to get another witness. The trial isn't over yet. Still, it's strange for Emma to miss something so obvious. It was a locked room. Even for her, I don't imagine she had all that much to investigate. I'm surprised Stuffy is all smiles again. That's some seriously thick skin. I'd say it's more like for myself. Exactly. Wait, this, your name and occupation, can you state them? What's with the red eyes? Might. Dynamite. I'm the owner of the workshop where the victim worked. Well, wait, Might? You're sure about that? Do I look like the kind of woman who wouldn't know your own name? I was under the impression you were named Cromwell. What? Sorry, little guy, not anymore. Anymore? Hey? Oh, fuck. Anyways, I've been watching from the gallery, so I know what's going on. Your question is how I heard the shot, right? Then I'll just smile about that. Please do, miss. Yes, reality check. That gun is Travis's father's gun. I know the gun because Johnson and I are good friends. That's actually how Travis came to work at my workshop. I've heard Johnson shoot that gun before, so I recognize the sound I heard. Okay, so you recognize the sound? But I don't understand. It's normal to recognize a gunshot when you hear it. Even I have heard gunshots before in the dramas I watch. Meaning you've never heard a real gunshot, Your Honor? With all that it happens in this court, I've come to think a gunshot is comparatively mild. The problem here is that the gun is silenced. It's not supposed to make any sound. Yes, it is! Yes, it very much is supposed to make sound. All guns are, even if they're silenced. This trial needs a reality check. Oh, then I have a question with this court. Has anyone ever heard the murder weapon being fired? Of course not. Firing guns in the courtroom is dangerous business. The ballistics guy probably shot the gun themselves. Contrary to Thank you! Thank you for the reality check. My god. Huzzah! Reality fucking check. Huzzah! Sound doesn't make a gun completely silent. At least not that one, since it's a pretty old model. You should ask your guys what kind of sound the gun made, and whether it was quiet or not. That does seem important. Bill, find the ballistics team and confirm what the witness said. Yes, sir. In the meantime, I have another question. Who is this Johnson person you keep mentioning? Oh, I know. Pick me. Me. Please, over here. Mr. Justice, who is the Johnson person? Ah. Does he not see the guy agreeing for attention right over there? I don't know, Your Honor. There's nothing about the Johnson in this court record. I see. Ha, I told you to choose me. Johnson is Travis. The so-called ex-cop. But I'm right here. I still don't understand how his gun came to be at the crime scene. Like the stuffy guy said earlier, the gun came from the toolbox. Since it's Johnson's, I think Travis was the one who brought it. Victor brought a gun. It won't do. Civilians aren't allowed to carry guns. This Travis person is most definitely guilty. The prosecutor said it best. Travis couldn't have shot himself, or else he would have brought the gun. Hey. Oh yeah. Regardless of who brought the gun, someone shot the Shamrock, and that someone is the defendant. I also want to ask the audience lifeline. But the question is, why did Travis bring the gun? I don't know. Huh? I have no idea, so what now? Sir, I've contacted, too amusing for my own good. My god, my speech is all over the place. Sir, I've contacted the ballistics team. They've confirmed that the gun could have easily been heard from the next room over. I see. So this had a simple explanation too. Seems the defense is having a hard time coming up with valid objections. Is there any reason to continue the proceedings then? Yes, Your Honor. The witness has just testified. The defense will exert their right to cross-examine the testimony. Very well, Justice, at this point I am entirely convinced of the defendant's guilt. This is within your right. It wouldn't do not to see it to the end.
Really? Anyways, end the freaking video here. I'll see you in the next video, YouTube. Goodbye.